Hi guys, good evening. So welcome back. And so yesterday's topic, what we had discussed. Any doubts? Guys, I'm asking you guys, do you have any doubts?
No, Samant.
Okay. So in our last class, we had discussed about DRS, and in DRS, power management, DPM, right? And in HA, admission control policy. Yesterday we had discussed. Along with these two topics, we discussed EVC. Just a minute, guys. Yeah, apart that, we had discussed EVC. So I hope you guys know EVC is nothing but if you have n number of ESXis with the different generations, processor generations. So at that time, we will enable this EVC so that within the cluster, VMs can migrate. Okay, this is what we had discussed in our earlier class. Okay, I hope everyone clear with these topics. If you guys have any doubts, please let me know. Clear? Okay, so let me make a diagram. Today's class and tomorrow class, very, very important, guys. You guys have to be with me. Okay, yeah, so we know here we have one Dell server, and here we have another Dell server. Okay, so on top of that, what we are installing, guys? I'm asking you, what we installed? Unmute and speak. Don't be quiet.
ESXi.
Yeah, ESXi 1 and ESXi 2. So we have two ESXis. And as I told you guys, so in physical area, there will be a switch. You guys have to be with me now. It's very important. Huh? So you guys know from here to here, from here to here will be there, and you will be standing here or sitting here. And from here, you will access the entire infrastructure. This is the architecture. You guys know that. Okay, how you guys are accessing? If these two are connected with vCenter, so that vCenter, that vCenter, you will start accessing here. The request will go here, and it will go from here to here. Like that, you will get the access. This is the accessing functionality. Okay, but now I wanted to ask you one thing here is, for an example, here one VM is there. Example, not one VM. One some around some 100 VMs are there. Here some 50 VMs are there. Okay, and here maximum 500 VMs can run. Assume. Same here also. And now you guys know in this infrastructure, we have cluster with HA and DRS. If any ESXi goes down, those VMs will migrate to here. If this ESXi goes down, these VMs will restart in another ESXi because of HA. We know automatic process. This movement, the VM's movement, what we used to call that VM's movement, I was telling one word. Can you tell me that? Guys? Migration, right? So if you are, again, I'm telling guys, you guys have to be with me. If you guys are not speaking, I will not continue. Okay. So if I'm coming back to this infrastructure, see, if I enable the HA and DRS in this cluster, so if any RAM CPU utilization is high, probably what will happen? This DRS will do the live migration. So migration is nothing but what? We used to call migrants, right? Migration is nothing but what?
Moving from one place to another.
Yes. So moving from one place to another place means moving from one ESXi to another ESXi. The source ESXi having some issue. That's the reason VMs will migrate to another ESXi, right? This is automatic process. Okay. So we have another process, manual process, right? If you will right click on any one of the VM, you will get migrate option. See, now this tiny Linux VM is residing on, if you are seeing here, ESXi2. See, I am just migrating, selecting first option. And here you need to zoom out. You need to select first ESXi. Okay. This let it finish the configuration. Now down some activity is going on. So if I'm right clicking on this, if I'm clicking on migrate, if I'm clicking compute resources, if I will select another ESXi, okay, it have to go. It's supposed to go, but some issue is there. Let it fix. VM will migrate to another ESXi automatically. This functionality, this process we used to call vMotion, guys. In some time, in ESXi2, you are going to do some activity like ESXi update or upgrade. So one VM is not migrating automatically. If you are putting this ESXi host into maintenance mode, VMs will migrate automatically, right? Yesterday we have seen, right? Sometimes VMs will not move. At that time, what you have to do, you have to right click on that VM and you need to click migration, then compute resources. I told you clearly, compute resources means the VM will take the RAM CPU from another ESXi. You need to select from which ESXi that VM have to take. Okay, this process we used to call, guys, vMotion. So in migration, we have two. One is vMotion. Another one is SV motion. SV motion is nothing but very simple. It is called storage vMotion. vMotion is nothing but moving manually. Again, remember guys, vMotion is nothing but moving VM from one host to one ESXi to another ESXi. That is called vMotion. The background tomorrow I will tell you. Networking topic, very important topic. Tomorrow I will tell you. vMotion is SV motion is nothing but storage vMotion. As I told you guys, in our infrastructure, we have external data stores, right? to keep the VM's files. If you have two data stores, these two data stores connected to two data stores, if the VM is VM files, .vmx, vmdk files, those are residing on one data store. Sometimes because of this data store space is hitting high, reaching threshold. Okay, so at the time you will manually do the VM files movement. That is called storage vMotion. Okay, so it's how it will do, it's very simple. Now, see, this is the tiny Linux VM. If I'm coming to data stores, this tiny Linux VM files are residing on ESXi data store. I can move these files from here to another data store. Let me go there, browse the files. See, we have two data stores. If you are seeing here, see, two files are there, right? Two data stores are there, right? So in the first data store, tiny Linux 2, Windows 10 VMs are there. See? And now what I'm going to do, I will right click on this tiny Linux and I will do the vMotion. vMotion means change storage only. That is called storage vMotion. If you will do the compute resource movement, that is called vMotion. Remember, guys. So just click on that. And as I told you, you will get two data stores. I will select another data store and I will click next. Something is problem with this infrastructure. That is the reason it is not moving, but probably it will move. Okay. I don't know what is the problem with this infrastructure.
Migrations will be done automatically, right, Samant? If we have to do manually, this is a process.
Yes, yes. See, automatically when it will do, if any RAM and CPU utilization is very high, at that time, DRS will do the live migration. Okay. And if any ESXi is going to fail, at that time, HA will restart the VMs from one ESXi to another ESXi. Okay, this is an automatic process. And now you wanted to migrate the VMs from one ESXi to another ESXi. If the ESXi is not unable to power on, if the VM is unable to power off, if the VM is in hang state, so during these scenarios, you will do the first option is moving that VM from one ESXi to another ESXi. How you will do manually, you have to do, right? So that is the call vMotion. vMotion is nothing but migrating VM from one ESXi to another ESXi. That is called vMotion. Storage vMotion, that is called svMotion, is nothing but moving the virtual machine files from existing data store to another data store. That is called storage migration. svMotion we used to call. Is that clear?
Yes. So once vMotion is done, SV has to be done, right?
No. See now, in such scenario, ESXi 2, you wanted to do this tiny Linux 1 VM. It is running in ESXi 2 and you are unable to power off. You are unable to power on. Okay. In that scenario, what you will do? You will move this VM to another ESXi. Then you will try to power on and power off. In that scenario, you will move. Let me go back to the material so that you will get to know. See, vMotion. It's a vCenter feature. Live migration of virtual machines, CPU and memory from one host to another host. While doing this activity, VM will not power on and power off. It's a no downtime activity. Online activity it is, online migration. Okay. So how to do this one? I will tell you pre-requirements. First, I will tell you how to do migration of VM from one host to another host. Right click on the VM, click on migration, compute resources only, select the destination ESXi and select the network and finish. Okay. So as I told you, UVC. This is how the vMotion background, vMotion will work. Okay. If you are doing the EVC, I mean, if you are doing the vMotion, the requirements are, these are the requirements. Minimum 2 ESXi should be there. Then only we can move one host to another host, right? If you have only one ESXi, you can't perform this vMotion. You need minimum 2 ESXis. And the ESXis, where this virtual machine is running, that ESXi and another ESXi should be with the same CPU family. That is called processor. If both are having Intel processor, yeah, it is possible you can do. If both are not same, then you have to enable EVC. This is the one, enhanced virtual capability, vMotion capability we used to call. Okay, another one, VM kernel port group should be enabled. This one tomorrow you will get to know the clear picture. It is simple. Now the VM is here and we are migrating to here. How it will migrate? The VM will migrate from here to here and here to here. So there will be a virtual network. That one tomorrow I will clearly tell you. So to process, to push this VM from this ESXi to this ESXi, there will be an interface. That one we have to create manually. That how to create, I will tell you. This is also one-time task. You will not get an opportunity, but I will show you how to do. And you can do the practice also. Okay. And another one, need to check the affinity and anti-affinity rules. I told you, right? Rules, DRS rules. If the VM is residing in one ESXi, customer is asking, don't move this VM from this ESXi to another ESXi. That time you will create a rule. So if that rule is there, you can't migrate. So you have to delete that rule, then you have to enable the migration. Okay. And whenever you are trying to migrate the VM from one host to another host, in that another host, sufficient amount of resources should be there. Means RAM and CPU should be there. And vMotion license is required. Okay. This is how. So far, anything, is that clear or anything doubt you have? Any doubts you have? Guys?
Yes, Samant.
Okay. Okay. So in interview, they will ask you, what is vMotion? You have to say end to end. vMotion is nothing but it's a live migration, moving VM from one host to another host. Here, it's an online activity, no downtime required. The pre-requirements for vMotion are minimum 2 ESXs required, and all the ESXs should be with the same CPU family, and common data store should be there. Common data store means this data store is there means if the VM is running in this data store, this data store should connect with this ESXi and this ESXi both. Then only the migration can happen. Okay. And VM kernel group should be enabled. Need to check the rules. Sufficient amount of resources should be available in destination ESXi and vMotion license required. And this is the process. If the same CPU family is there, then you can do the vMotion. If the same CPU family is not there, then you have to enable the EVC and you need to migrate. So to enable the EVC, make sure all the VMs in all hosts are powered off. This is very important. It's an offline activity. When you are going to enable this EVC in the cluster, all the VMs should be in powered off state. Okay. And to enable the EVC, this is the steps. Cluster, configure, EVC. It should be in disabled state. Click on edit and you need two options. EVC2, EVC for AMD host, EVC for Intel host. Probably wherever you go, Intel processor hosts should be there. So if you have only one or two AMD processor hosts, at the time you have to select first one. If you have AMD processor ESXi host more, then you need to enable the second option. Okay. So scenarios when VMs are moved from one host to another host. Soumya, these are the requirements. Okay, if any firmware and hardware updates is done, this one I will tell you in real time. In hardware, firmware is nothing but, so this is the hardware, right? In this hardware also components will be there. DIMM, RAMs, motherboard, CPU, network adapters. These all components having the versions. When you are installing 7.0, this RAM should be in some particular compatible version. This motherboard should be in compatible version. This all should be in a compatible version. Then only ESXi 7 will install. So by updating these hardware components, we used to call firmware updates. Okay, that I will tell you. And another process is when the VM resources using high. Manually DRS will do. In case in our cluster, if the DRS is enabled with partial automation, so it will give the alert. What you have to do, you have to manually migrate the VMs. That is called vMotion. Is that clear, guys? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So here, this is one of the important one. To migrate the VMs to destination host, the host having the common data store. As I told you, how many ESXis are there? All the ESXis are connected with the common data store. If you have one common data store, that data store should connect with all the data stores. Then only you can able to migrate. For an example, తెలుగులో చెప్తాను. ఒక చెట్టుకి ఉయ్యాలు కడతాం. ఓకే, ఉయ్యాలు కట్టి ఉయ్యాల్లో కూర్చుంటాం. ఆ ఉయ్యాల నుంచి ఒక ఎడ్జ్ నుంచి ఇంకొక ఎడ్జ్కి మూవ్ అవ్వాలంటే పాసిబుల్. ఎందుకంటే అక్కడ కామన్ టైట్ పాయింట్ ఉంటుంది పైన కదా. సో నువ్వు ఫ్రంట్కి వెళ్ళొచ్చు, వెనక్కి రావచ్చు. ఎందుకంటే మెయిన్ కపుల్ సెంటర్ పాయింట్ పైన టచ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, అలాగని చెప్పేసి ఈ చెట్టు మీద ఇంకో చెట్టు మీద దూకాలంటే కాదు కదా ఉయ్యాల్లో కూర్చొని. సో ఇక్కడ కూడా ESXi ఒకే కామన్ డేటా స్టోర్ ఉంటే ఆ VMs యొక్క ఫైల్స్ అన్ని ఆ డేటా స్టోర్లో స్టోర్ అయి ఉంటాయి. సో VMs ఒక ESXi నుంచి ఇంకొక ESXiకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు అవి ఓన్లీ కంప్యూట్ రిసోర్సెస్ ర్యామ్ అండ్ CPU మాత్రమే షేర్ తీసుకుంటాయి వేరే ESXi నుంచి. బట్ ఆ VM ఫైల్స్ మాత్రం ఒక కపుల్డ్ పాయింట్లో అంటే ఇట్స్ కామన్ డేటా స్టోర్లో అలానే ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ ద మేజర్ అండ్ మెయిన్ పాయింట్. అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద మేజర్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ప్రాసెస్ గైస్. చాలా సింపుల్. ఇప్పుడు వెన్ యూ విల్ ఇనిషియేట్ ద vMotion, so at that time this VM will convert as a bitmap image. It looks like one file. You can't able to see that. This is complete background process, guys. In interview you have to explain, that's it. So when you will initiate the vMotion, so at that time the VM will convert as a shadow copy, and that copy will move from source ESXi. This is called source ESXi. This is called destination. So once it's converted as a shadow copy, that will travel from here to here and it will resume here. That is the theory here they mentioned. See, when we initiate the vMotion, a shadow copy will be created in destination host. Destination means in residing host. So copy of active memory page will be shared to destination VM shadow copy via vMotion network. So this one tomorrow I will tell you in the virtual network. So that shadow copy will travel through this vMotion network to the destination ESX. Okay, so there that copy will resume and it will become like a normal virtual machine. Okay, so in interview perspective, simplify how to simplify, so what is vMotion? They will ask. So vMotion is nothing but moving the VM from source ESXi to destination ESXi. vMotion is a vCenter feature. Okay, and it's an online activity. While doing this vMotion, VM will move from one host to another host without powering on. Okay. If the VM is powering off, that is called offline activity. If the VM is not powering off, that is called online activity. Okay. So while doing this vMotion, we have some prerequirements. Those are such: minimum 2 ESXi should be there in the cluster, and vMotion license should be there, and source and destination ESXi should be with the same CPU family, and the source and destination ESXi should be connected with common data store, and in source and destination ESXi, vMotion network should be enabled. These are the pre-requirements. And now the background process. When we initiate the vMotion, so we will right click on the VM, we will click on migrate, then we will select the compute resources only. Then you will select the destination ESXi from where this VM should take the RAM and CPU, and we will click on OK. Once we initiate the vMotion, the VM which is residing on source ESXi, that VM will convert as a shadow copy, and it will travel through vMotion network from source to destination ESXi. So this is the background process. Okay. And while doing the vMotion, we may get some failures because of if the destination ESXi is running with any issue at that time, we can't successfully complete this vMotion. And another point is in the destination ESXi, if we don't have enough RAM and CPU, probably that VM will not take the RAM and CPU by causing vMotion failure. Okay. This is how we need to explain. If you will explain for one single question, vMotion, what is vMotion? They will not ask you anything. Okay. And coming to the svMotion, as I told you guys, this is also same, but here we will move this VM file from one storage to another storage. If you have multiple data stores in your infrastructure, it's very rare scenario. Only in interview they will ask you guys. Very rare scenario. Now I am doing why? Because we have a new data store. Customer purchased new data store, and customer is trying to decommission the old data store. That's why I am evacuating all the virtual machine files from source data store to new data store. Okay, we are using Dell data stores. And svMotion also, this is called live migration. No downtime, it's online activity. Pre-requirements same. Minimum two data stores in a cluster should be with the same CPU family. Common data stores, VM kernel adapters, affinity rules should be there. Should not. We need to check. And in destination data store, the minimum, like how much space is required for the VM files. That much space should be available, and the vMotion and svMotion license should be required. So one storage to another storage process is just right clicking on the VM, migration, change the storage only, and you need to select the destination storage. And if you wanted to change the eager zeroed, lazy zeroed, thin provision, for an example, this VM is running with thick, and while migrating from this data store to another data store, you wanted to move change to thin, you can do that. How you will do? You need to, while the change storage only, then you need to click advanced option. There you can change the thick provision lazy zeroed, or thick provision easy zeroed, or thin provision, and finish. So when we will do this storage migrations, so if you don't have enough storage in this source data store, at that time we will move this VM files to another data store. One scenario. Another scenario is more burden on storage. Same, if the existing data store is running with out of storage, at the time we will migrate. Otherwise, during any maintenance activities, at the time we will move this VM from here to here. So this is all about storage and normal vMotions. So here one note is there in red color. To migrate VM to destination storage, the hosts should be connected with the destination storage also. As I told you, if you have two ESXis and if you have two data stores, two ESXis should be connected with these two data stores also. Then only you can able to do the storage migration. That is called vMotion. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
And another one, another topic is fault tolerance. Here's a very also very important. In real time, they will not ask you. You will not perform this FT. In interview only they will ask you. It's very simple. Let me give you an example. You have two ESXis. In one ESXi, 100 VMs are running. Okay. 100 VMs are running. And here 50 VMs are running. And you have enabled HA and you have enabled DRS. So if this ESXi goes down, these 100 VMs will migrate here. We are in safe mode. Okay. And if these 100 VMs are running out of RAM and CPU, so VMs will move and those VMs will be in safe side in another ESXi. And the customer will ask you now, hi VMware team, 100 VMs are there. So here capacity is 100 VMs only. And if this ESXi goes down, 100 VMs will try to migrate to this ESXi. Probably high button will be running on the destination ESXi. Probably this ESXi also will fail. So from this 100 VMs, I have one of the VM. It's very important VM. In this VM, some financial information, some critical information is running. All the time, this VM should be running without downtime. What you will do? They will ask. It's very simple. We have to enable FT in between these two ESXis. And you need to right click on this VM and you need to turn on the fault tolerance. When you will turn on the fault tolerance, at that time, this VM, same replica VM will create in another ESXi also. Both will be in sync mode. Okay. If this VM goes down, immediately this VM will give the access to customer without any downtime. Why? Because these VMs will be in a sync mode. Okay, that is called fault tolerance. Tomorrow, when I am going to explain about the virtual network between the ESXis, at that time, you will understand more about fault tolerance, storage vMotion, and vMotion. And as of now, this is all about vMotion, svMotion, and fault tolerance. When I am coming to this area, you can see here, it is a VM feature. You can do this. See, come down, right click, and you will get fault tolerance. See, you need to turn on. But before going to turn on, we need to establish the connection between these two in the network layer. I will tell you tomorrow. Okay. So fault tolerance is the property that enables a system to continue operating properly in the event of failure. As I told you, if any failure is expecting from customer side, they will tell you. At that time, we will use this. But nowadays, no one are using fault tolerance since we have a backup technology in place. So we will take the image level backups for virtual machines. so that we can avoid the data loss. Okay, if we enable fault tolerance for a VM, a secondary VM will create in another ESXi host. Whenever the primary VM goes down, the secondary VM will become a primary VM and perform the operations, due to which there will be no downtime required. As I told you, if the primary VM goes down, immediately this secondary VM will act as a primary VM and customer will get the access without any doubt. Okay. So simultaneously, if the primary VM goes down, right, that VM, once you will fix the issue, that VM will become a secondary VM. So as I told you, in between these two VMs, all the time data will be in sync. If the customer is saving the data in primary VM, the same data will save in another secondary VM also. That saving data technique we used to call vlog setup technique. Okay, so there will be a continuous exchange between source, primary and secondary VM. Okay, the pre-requirements to enable the FT, minimum 2 data stores required, same CPU family, common data stores, VM kernel port group should be enabled, need to check the affinity rules, sufficient amount of storage availability in destination storage. Same like vMotion pre-requirements. Okay, so here another thing is there that is called HA should be enabled and the speed, network speed should be 10 gig. Tomorrow you will get to know this. What is this? So steps to enable the FT, host, configure, VM kernel adapters. This one tomorrow I will tell you and I will show you how to create and I will let you know to create those things also. Once you will establish the connection, then you need to enable the FT on the VM. Right click, fault tolerance, turn on the fault tolerance. Select the data store, select the host, so that secondary VM will create in that host and in that data store. To test the fault tolerance, you can just down the one VM so that secondary VM will act as a primary VM. This one tomorrow we will see. This is all about today's class. If you guys have any doubts, please let me know. Guys, any doubts?
We'll ping you some month one as and when we get.
Yeah. Yeah. Please speak out. Huh? As I told you, these are we are in last page actually. So today we have covered vMotion, right? And SV motion and FT. These three are very, very important. In interview also, they will ask you guys. Okay. For sure, they will ask you. You guys have to touch base. Please check. And I thought to show you today only, but I don't know. This platform is giving the headache. Let me try one more time. vMotion. If it is working, we are well and good. Otherwise, tomorrow I will show you. I think this time, yes. Now it is working. See, I will show you how to do. Okay. First is vMotion. vMotion is nothing but moving this ESXi from ESXi1 to ESXi2. See, now if I'll click on this VM under summary, if I'm coming here, you can see this ESXi is running on ESXi1. Right click, migrate, change compute resources and select the ESXi1. Sometimes it will not show you guys. Just click control and zoom in, zoom down, so that you will get to know. You will see. Okay, compatible. Now it came. Next. So as I told you guys, what we are doing now, vMotion, right? Correct?
Yes.
We need to select the vMotion network here. If you drop down, you will see the vMotion network. Tomorrow I will show you. You will get a clear idea. But now you just select the vMotion. That's it. Click next. Finish. See, this VM will move from ESXi1 to ESXi2. I think some issue. Let me create another VM and let me try. Lab, right? Sometimes it will give a hard stop actually.
So, only VMs will you migrate, right? Summer, but we
Yes.
are on it, but we can't migrate EXXi, right?
Yeah, ESXi we can't. ESXi's
Okay.
are the hosts.
Okay.
ESXi name is called host. Why? Because ESXi will host multiple virtual machines.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good questions. ESXi, we can't do those things under. See, if you'll right click on the ESXi, you will not get those options. Okay. So
Okay.
this is the VM which I created in ESXi1. Let me try. This is all because of some issue with the this one lab. So I need to select the vMotion. Next, finish. See, it moved. It was in ESXi1, right? Now ESXi2. Let me do again. Let me migrate this
Summer,
VM.
and if so, sometimes we can revert back as well. There is option, Summer.
Yeah,
No,
just
no need
right
to.
click, just right click on it. Migrate,
Mhm.
compute resources. Now it is in ESXi2. If you want to revert back, ESXi1 select. Next, vMotion is there already. Finish. See, it will change ESXi1.
Okay.
Let me do for this one. It is in ESXi1. I think I had selected ESXi1 only. That's why it got failed, if I'm not wrong. Now let me select ESXi2. Next. I need to select the vMotion. Next. Finish. I think it will succeed now. See ESXi2. Mood, right? You got it? If you wanted to
Yeah.
see, if you wanted to see live, I will show you here also. This is ESXi1. Two VMs are there. I wanted to change this to ESXi2. Just right click on that. Migrate. ESXi2. Select. Oh, sorry. I need to select the VM network. vMotion. We are doing vMotion. See, it went. If you will select ESXi2, the TLN Linux will be here. It's still migrating, guys. I'm sorry. See, you got it? Let me migrate it back to ESXi2. See, if I'll select ESXi2, that VM will be here. Clear, huh?
Okay.
Now, see, this tiny Linux VM is residing on datastore ISCSI. This tiny Linux 2 also residing on datastore, ISCSI datastore. This Windows 10 VM also residing on ISCSI datastore. Only the newly created VM is residing on NFS datastore. If I wanted to do storage migration, just right click on this VM, migrate, select the second option that is called storage migrations, change storage only, and select the destination storage that is called. Here you can see both storages. Now this VM is running in NFS datastore. You need to select ISCSI datastore, click next, finish. See, down you can see the progress. 35%, 35%, 37%, 38%. it will move. You can do this practice, guys. The fault tolerance one and that network. As I told you guys, this is a separate network. vMotion is a separate network. So we need to enable the network between these two ESXis. Tomorrow I will tell you. Don't worry. Okay. It's taking time, 46%. In regular infrastructures, you will not get these errors. This lab, right? Sometimes it will give the hand. So don't mind and don't worry. Okay. Still it is moving. Fast.
So what was the advantage of this vMotion, someone like replay this migrate the data store?
See, automatic movements will happen. But all the times you can't depend on the automatic movements, right? Now the VM is running with ESXi1, and from that ESXi are having some issues, so it is affecting the VM. So what you will do? You have to move to another ESX and you have to test, right? Correct. In real time, when I am going to discuss about the issues and all, you will get to know more. Now, all the companies are in the market with AT and MT, automatic transmission and manual transmission. Why can't they go with only manual, or why can't they go with only automatic? Huh? So all the times we can't depend on one automatic movements, right? So we have to be with the manual also. It's almost completed, guys. Once it is done, we can end up the session. Even I do have the meeting by 5:30.
Completed.
See, the new virtual machine data store name change it to datastore ESXi. Before it was in NFS, right? Correct, huh?
Yes, Saman.
Yeah, before it was in NFS. Now it moved to ESXi data store. This is called storage vMotion. Okay. Yeah, so this is all about today's class, guys. Tomorrow I will start with network topic. It's very important. Do not forget and do not skip the practice today's session. Then only tomorrow you will get to know. Otherwise, if you guys want some time, just let me know. I will give 3 days time and we can connect back on Monday. But please let me know once you done with this vMotion and storage migration and vMotion practice sessions today or tomorrow before afternoon. Okay. This is all about today's class, and let's connect tomorrow.
Fault tolerance, we can't do practice, right, Saman?
Practice
Like fault tolerance, we can't do, right? We can able to do, right?
tomorrow I will show you. I mean, I
Okay.
will to do the fault tolerance practice, we need to do something. I will tell you tomorrow. Then you will do the practice. But today and tomorrow you will just cover with vMotion and storage vMotion topics, Masood. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that fault tolerance also. No problem at all.
Okay.
Okay. Chalo guys, have a good evening. Tomorrow we will connect. In some time I will upload this video into the channel. You can watch it. Okay. Bye bye.
Okay, thanks, Saman.
Bye bye.